connected. I see it connecting.
We're the proud, we're the free, we're the hope, we're the dreams. We are strong, we are true, yeah, me and you. Oh, we're red, white, and blue. We're red, white, and blue. Red, white, and red, white, and blue. We're red, white, and blue.
Hey, everybody, it is Friday, Red Friday, and it's Thanksgiving weekend. I hope everybody had a great turkey day with your family and friends. I know I'm about 10 pounds heavier right now, and actually, I'm getting ready right after this to go dive into some more. So, anyway, but I hope you're with your family and your friends. And I know I've taken yesterday and the day before to actually reach out to some veterans that I know that are alone, and needed a phone call. And I hope you guys reached out to your friends as well. Anyway, Red Friday podcast. Wearing my red. We got troops deployed, and want to recognize them every Friday, keeping America safe, and just let's BS about some topics for this show. I'm solo because it's Thanksgiving weekend, and I didn't want to intrude on anybody's weekend with their family. So had a great show last week with the Fish and Flow crew. God, what a great show they got going. What a great team of people. And reflecting on what are you thankful for this week. Um, I'm thankful for our service members, for our LEOs, for our first responders, of course, absolutely. We're all thankful for this great country we live in. Well, almost all of us. And I'm especially uh, thankful for our shareholders at our company and Armed Forces Brewing Company, and we're in the process of bouncing back, and there's I'm I'm thankful for a great product we have, great beer, and I'm gonna check out here on Facebook real quick and see if anybody's out there. It is Thanksgiving weekend. I know everybody has heard it's major news story. Shellback Smitty's in the house. Major story about two National Guard troops, West Virginia National Guard troops that were shot in Washington D.C. Hey, Smitty. And we lost one of them right now. I'm not sure about the second one yet. Um, but I know our prayers are with Specialist Berstrom and her family. What man, sad story. Let's hope Wolf makes it, Sergeant Wolf. And I'm looking over here on Facebook real quick. Let's see, Shellback Smitty. Anywho, all right. A lot of stuff going on in the country. It is Thanksgiving weekend. A little update on Armed Forces Brewing Company. We got beer in the tanks. Our preamble beer is in the tank brewing. Got that Army Navy game coming up December 13th. Not going to commit to it, but I'm hoping we can get some beer out before then. But we'll see. We'll see. That would be great. That would be great. Who's going to win that game? Well, Navy's Navy's got a good team this year. Um, I'd say they're a top 25 team, not a top 10. Gosh, they have a great running game and a great quarterback. Reminds me of Perry, Malcolm Perry. Um, but I think Navy's just going to run away with the Army Navy game. I mean, it's a gridiron battle between these two teams, and you never know what's going to happen. But Navy is just they're powerful for their division, and I think they're going to win, and I think they're going to win handily against Army. Now, uh, who won the battle of the uniforms? Um, yeah, you still got some pre. I'm looking at Facebook comments here. Shellback Smitty, man, I love that guy. Just FYI, we still have some preamble catch on in Grunt here in Timberlake, North Carolina. So my fridge is full from the Army Navy. Good, 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 good. Um, who won the battle of the uniforms? I'm sure everybody so far has seen the Navy uniforms and the Army uniforms. So they're both good, but and I'm a Navy fan. I mean, I'm a big Navy football fan, and I have been since a kid. It just didn't pop up because I moved to Annapolis and lived there. I have always liked Navy football. I used to watch the Army Navy game with my grandfather all the time. I mean, we sat down as a family, popped the popcorn, and watched the Army Navy game every year together. And my grandfather served in the Navy, so he didn't go to the academy, but he was partial to the Navy. So I just grew up loving the Navy football team, and Roger Staubach and Napoleon McCallum, who was up for, I think, in the running for the Heisman. That might have been the early '80s. But anyway, so I'm kind of biased, but you're going to some of you are just going to probably turn me off when I say this, but this year I got to give the battle of the cool uniform to Army this year. I think their color uh, scheme is cool, and I think it's better than Navy. Hey, Dave Knobloch, go Navy. So I think the Navy uniform's good, but there's just as far as the cool factor goes, I think Army won this year with the Battle of the Uniforms and the Battle of the Gridiron on December 13th. Navy's going to run away with it, though. Um, so that's my opinion. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or X watching, put your opinion down there of who you think has the better uniform this year. I just think the Army uniform is super cool, super cool. So we'll, we'll see what happens December 13th. But anyway, goal is to get some beer out by then. I'm not sure if it's going to happen yet. We're in Thanksgiving holiday, so we'll check back with our contract brewer on Monday or Tuesday and get everybody updated when we think that beer is going to be packaged and out. Everybody's coming in on Facebook with their Go Navies and their Squids Rule Army drills and everything else. I love it. Dennis Smith, how you doing? Uh, wow. Anyway, all right. So I, obviously I'm solo this weekend or this Friday, but I want to talk about a couple things here, and then we'll get to the fun stuff. But um, obviously Armed Forces Brewery Company is bouncing back from a terrible situation in Norfolk, Virginia. We've relocated to Texas and are searching for home base. We don't know if it's going to be Texas, it could be Florida, but we're really pivoting strategically as well. And for shareholders out there, you're receiving update emails on the company and what we're doing. And just a couple updates. I've told you about the beer. Our apparel store is going to be back up and running here, I think, in the next 24 hours or less, and that'll be good. We are going through our audit so we can get our stock offering back up and running and working on that. And, we're waiting for the beer to come out. So we get beer back out to market and relaunch the great state of Texas here. We're going to start out in central Texas through Keg One O'Neill and focus on that Fort Hood area especially and relaunch here. We've got some great interest in Florida from a development firm there that is developing a community out there in Florida, and it's in a great area. They're experiencing explosive growth, and they want an Armed Forces Brewing Company microbrewery, tap room, and restaurant, foodery we call it. They want us there really bad, so we're in discussions with that right now as well, and just kind of picking up some pieces here. A lot of you email and me, what's happening with Norfolk. The company fully plans to investigate and press what happened there with criminal and civil investigations and remedies, if you will. That's about all I'm going to say right now on that end. But we're there's a lot of people that have joined the mission on that, including attorneys and law enforcement. So we're happy about that. Let's see, Florida, Daytona would be awesome, man. Florida's just booming right now, and there's a lot of great things about Florida. So let's see what else we got. I've got a whole bunch of topics here. I just wanted to briefly go over, and I love your comments out there, guys. So let me see if there's any comments here. I think most of it's on Facebook, so we'll just monitor Facebook here. I told you preambles in the tanks. We're going to be dropping Grunt, and then get over to Special Hops and Cat Shot as well. I'm getting just a ton of people. Of course, the colder months are here now, but just a ton of people that love our Death from Above Coffee Porter. They are wanting that product out to market. I don't blame them. It is a fantastic beer, and I've probably said this on Red Friday podcast before, but we took that beer for kind of a trial tasting, if you will, to Daytona, and we had people knocking on our trailer at 8 o'clock a.m. Asking if we had any of that left, so they could dunk their donuts in it that morning. So it is a great beer. The Death from Above Coffee Porter, definitely a really, really good beer. So we got to get that beer out to market. I think people will buy it. I know people will buy it. I think it's just a great beer. What can I say? So anyway, yeah, we need more Death from Above for sure. Yep. Right on, Smitty. Okay. So let's see. any more updates I can give to you right now. Army Navy game, we talked about that real quick. Beers in the tanks. Relaunching in Texas, Central Texas. Going to do some events down by Fort Hood there, and continue with the Red Friday podcast. Let me tell you, we've already got 10 shows outlined. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you some of the topics that we got coming up, and we're gonna have some expert guests on the show, on the panel, uh, a lot of veterans talking about the shows that we're having. Okay, and one show, I don't know if you've seen it yet. I hope that if you haven't, go to Netflix and watch In the Waves of War. It's a new documentary that came out last weekend. I think 2 weekends ago. And there's Navy SEALs in this documentary that go to Ibogaine therapy clinics down in Mexico. And some pretty well known Navy SEALs as well. DJ Shipley's in that video. Well, obviously, Armed Forces Brewing Company, we know some several SEALs, Green Berets, Marines, and other veterans that have been going down to Mexico for Ibogaine therapy. And my friend Robert J. O'Neill is, going and promoting it big time, talking about it, educating the public on his Operator podcast. And I've talked to a lot of veterans that are going to this, and watch the documentary as well. Ibogaine is a plant. It's hallucinogenic therapy, and let me tell you, the veterans that I've talked to that are going down for this therapy swear by it. It's helping them. It's helping their lives, quality of life. It's helping with their PTSD, any kinds of addictions, whether it's alcohol, drugs. But the main thing is it's saving lives. It's helping with their PTSD. It's helping with those suicidal thoughts. And that's what matters. That's what matters. And I know I'm getting deep here, but I'm leading into something here. That's what matters. If we can lower the suicide rate amongst the veteran community, God, what an accomplishment. Now, I'm in Texas, and Governor Abbott and former Governor Perry, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, got a bill passed here in Texas to allocate about $50 million in Ibogaine therapy research and development in the state of Texas. Their goal is to get it FDA approved and get this therapy legalized in the United States, so our veterans don't have to go to Mexico to get it. So it's interesting what's gonna happen with that. We're going to, as far as our company goes, and our foundation that we're revitalizing. 2026 is going to be a mission about the quality of life for veterans. We're looking into the Ibogaine therapy, and we're going to do a Red Friday podcast on all this stuff too. Ibogaine. We're looking at stem cell therapy. I have talked to, and I've got some veteran friends, some of the Fish and Flow crew that are actually going through stem cell therapy for service-related injuries, and it works. So looking into some of those therapies and solutions that are working in the veteran community, in the military community, that are improving the quality of life for our veterans. In 2026, putting those all together in a package and helping educate the public on these, the veteran community on these, because We got there's all sorts of great therapies out there as well. Service dogs are super important. They work. They help. They work. Outings. I've come across a lot of nonprofits that do outings for veterans as well and keep them busy, fishing and hunting and animal therapy and going to out in the country to ranches and things like that. Those things are great therapy for veterans. Let me see. Yeah, there's a lot of different programs out there. But what are those that are going to really improve the quality of life for veterans as a whole? Um, and kind of putting that together in one package, some of the new therapies that have come out. This stem cell thing is really interesting. Um, and being able to educate, direct, and uh, potentially even fund or sponsor a veteran for these quality of life therapies. So anyway, uh, watch that watch that documentary, In the Waves of War. It's on Netflix. Watch it. It's a trip, literally, pun intended. And it's working. And watch Rob O'Neill's Operator podcast. He talks about it a lot because he's doing it. He's going through it. Okay, we've got other shows that are coming up. There's something else that has absolutely got my attention. Um, Growing up as a kid, I was my mom taught humanities in high school, and my dad was in the Air Force, and then the Missouri Air National Guard, and he was constantly flying and deployed somewhere. And he was an intelligent. He was navigator. He was the head navigator for the 139th Tactical Airlift Command, 180th Pony Express, and they flew C-130s, and my dad was the intelligence officer as well. He's a lieutenant colonel, and as a kid, I don't know how I got started on it. I can't remember back that far. That shows you how young I got involved in this UFO thing. It always interested me. All this stuff always interests me. UFOs, Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, that cryptid stuff. I was into that as a kid. And one of my teachers, I remember in fourth grade, went to Loch Ness for a visit and brought me back a jar of water and rocks from Loch Ness, and I thought that was great. Anyway, we're gonna do a show on UAPs. It has come a long way, and now um, the military and the government is coming out and saying, yeah, these are real. And we've got whistleblowers now. We got Navy pilots out there testifying before congressional committees on what they've seen. And we've got members of Congress going in skiffs and talking to these whistleblowers and coming out on even on social media and publicly stating publicly stating that we are not alone, that we are being visited, and I just find that's that's so wild. It's going to change the world when that officially comes out. It's going to change the world big time. And I often go, what's going to happen with beer? Do they like beer? Do they drink beer? They probably don't drink beer. Well, they like beer. How are people going to react when it officially comes out, or when they come down and say hello? Um, but we got a whole show on that we're going to do. We've got a show on the ibogaine and the stem cells that we're going to do. We've got a show coming up. These are all topics you can sit around and have a beer with. We'll talk about that Bigfoot and maybe cattle mutilations, things like that, and just hit some other topics. We're gonna do a show on hunting and fishing, outdoor activities like that as well. Um, we're gonna bring on. We have a show slated, an outline where we're gonna bring on hopefully some people from some gun companies like Sig Sauer, Sawyer, and you know, talk about our favorite rifles and revolvers and pistols, whatever, shooting ranges and all that kind of stuff. I've been to a lot of shooting ranges all over the country. One of the best ones ever is the Bullet Hole in Kansas City. That was a great place. So we've got a whole bunch of shows. So keep watching Red Friday podcast, and I'll let you. We post and stuff like that of what's the topics of the shows and what guests we're going to have on. Let's see here. The U.S. will make it so much more expensive or water it down. Here, let me see this, Dennis. Where people will never be able to come off of it. Trust in beer, not government. Yeah, no kidding. All right. So anyway, I guess my point was we got a lot of great shows slated, and we're gonna have some really great guests on the Red Friday podcast. I'm solo right now. This is Thanksgiving weekend. Okay. There's another topic I wanted to talk about real quick, and this bothers me a lot, but especially if you go out to Instagram and TikTok, and everybody's got a podcast. There's millions of podcasts in the U.S. now, and there's a lot of veterans that have these podcasts, and I watched a lot of them. I watch a lot of clips, especially on Instagram, from these podcasts. You got some really good ones. The big boys are out there. Sean Ryan and all those are really great podcasts to watch. But I've noticed here in the last 6 months, maybe a year, there's a lot of veterans out there that are talking shit about other veterans out there, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see, if you will. There's just a lot of people doing a lot of things out there that are kind of shady, like the Candace Owens thing. I've got friends that absolutely love her, they swear by her, and then I've got friends that are actually, she's full of shit. I haven't looked fully into the Candace Owens thing, but just some of the snippets that I've seen out there, it really bothers me what people are doing for likes and clicks right now. And, these people have monetized their social media platforms. So there's money involved. And it just really bothers me that veterans are out there talking shit. I mean, in specific cases, the Bin Laden raid and Rob killing Osama bin Laden, it's freaking 2025, almost 2026, and they're still out there discussing who really killed bin Laden and all that kind of stuff. And I find it ridiculous stuff, and I find that these are just people out there trying to get likes and clicks. We all know who killed Osama bin Laden, who shot him. Anyway, so I wish they'd stop, veterans, stop throwing each other under the bus. You should be lifting each other up. You should be wishing each other success, helping each other with success, because there's a lot of other things you should be addressing out in the veteran and active duty military and law enforcement communities. Besides this stuff, throwing your brothers or your sisters that you serve with under the bus like that, it bothers me. So I wanted to get that out. I wanted to get that out there. It bothers. We'll talk more about that in other episodes. But that's what's going on right now, and it's heated and all that kind of stuff. Ridiculousness. And and remember, there are people out there that really want you to succeed. There are people out there that they do not want you to succeed. And there's reasons for that. One is jealousy, and the other is maybe a disagreement. In this day and age, a disagreement in politics. So it's unfortunate. Anyway, speaking of veterans and speaking of the Red Friday podcast, next Friday, we are going to have Skull Crusher, Army veteran, and reality TV personality, and just an overall great human being. And he's a friend, and I consider him family. EJ Snyder's going to be here next Friday on the Red Friday podcast. EJ has a new company called Freedom Pickles. And we're going to talk about Freedom Pickles. He was just recently in the DFW area here, and it was the first pickle festival I've been to. It was down in Arlington at the Live complex, if you will. Bars and restaurants, sports bars, all that good kind of stuff. But they have festivals in the parking lot there, and it was amazing. I could not believe they said 8,000 people. It looked more like 20,000 people were down there, and pickle tents everywhere. We were at the Army Navy game last year with EJ and Freedom Pickles, and his pickles are incredible. They are delicious. They are special. So he's going to be on next Friday to talk about Freedom Pickles, veteran-owned and operated company and brand. And he's really getting some traction too, going into retail stores, Harris Teeters, and all that good stuff. So these are like all natural pickles, and they're absolutely delicious. We had people at the Army Navy game lined up to try his pickles, and they all loved them. And same thing at the Pickle Fest in DFW a couple weeks ago. So we'll have EJ on here. We're gonna talk to him about his survival. He's a survivalist, and he was on Naked and Afraid, and the TV show, and he's been on some other ones too. So it's gonna be a great show. That's next Friday. EJ Snyder from Freedom Pickles. Pickles. And I gotta tell you, like I said, it was my first pickle festival that I'd ever been to. I didn't even know there was such a thing. And I had the best time of my life. Now, I volunteered to work at his tent and help out. And it was awesome. Like I said, there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people there. There were just tents all over the place set up of different pickle vendors, people that had their own brand of pickles and other things associated with pickles. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of a Texas Twinkie before. I think the Texas Twinkie is like a pepper that has stuffing and cream cheese inside of it, something like that. And then they wrap it in bacon and they put it on the smoker. And these Texas Twinkies were made with a pickle in the middle, with cream cheese, and wrapped in bacon. And I tell you, it was incredible. It was incredible. So incredible that when we open up and I wanted a cold beer with that Texas pickle Twinkie. When we open a taproom foodery, I am getting with the chef and putting that on the menu. It was so good. So good. Bacon, cream cheese, pickle. Wow. It was amazing. It was amazing. Tasty. So anyway, the Pickle Fest, people were dressed up as pickles. It was just awesome. It was awesome. And it was just a great, great event. Great event. So anyway, EJ Snyder. Next Friday, Red Friday podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Let's see. Go ahead. You got a comment? You got a question? Put it in there. If I can answer that question, I will. I'm going to take a look out here on LinkedIn real quick and see if we got, whoops, see if we got any questions out there on LinkedIn. I see a comment. Well, it's not letting me see the comment. All right. Anybody on Facebook there? Somebody had a comment there. Something about statute of limitations. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay, statute of limitations. Well, we've got an attorney involved in this, and we have not reached anywhere on the statute of limitations on the most on the best civil and criminal issues there. All right. Oh, we got a bunch of comments here. Hang on. I'm looking at 26 comments here. Why can't I see all of them? I want to answer some questions if I can. Let's see. Amen. Preach it. Pickle Fest. Yikes. All right. I'm wondering why I'm not getting to see all these comments here. I wonder why that could be. Gosh dang it. Let's see. All right, they're not. Anyway, all right, so we talked about some beer here. We talked about the apparel store going up. I've given you an update on that. We talked about some of the shows that are coming out on the Red Friday podcast. I'm really big on this Red Friday thing. You know, I'm not a veteran. I didn't serve, but come from a huge military family. And woo, this family, my family, has gone through a lot of deployments. Gosh. And, you know, for everyone, when 9/11 hit, I think, you know, the history of Red Friday was after 9/11. And I think some you'll have to Google it. The whole history's out there. I haven't Googled it right now, but so it's not fresh in my mind. But I think some military spouses started this, and it blew up. It blew up, and you know, over on LinkedIn, where I do a lot of social media activity over there and content. It's blown up. I'm seeing entire offices that are doing Red Friday. Everybody's wearing red to show support for our deployed troops. And I just think it's a great thing. I think it is a great thing, and I think more Americans and more businesses, especially in the civilian sector, should do it. And I just think it's a great thing every Friday. So that's why we wear red. It's a thing in our company. We do it. We did it at the brewery in Norfolk, and we'll continue to do that. It's amazing. You know, I guess we always have deployed troops. If you think about it, we have troops all over the planet, all over the globe. But especially when we have troops deployed, whether it's an aircraft carrier, strike group, destroyers, whatever, it doesn't matter. But doing this on Friday, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. Believe me, I have people all the time cut us down, you know, fake patriot, all that kind of stuff. to them. So we're going to continue to do it, and I encourage everyone out there to start an Office Red Friday. Start an Office Red Friday. Get your colleagues involved. If you're the boss, do it. Wear red on Friday. Get your colleagues involved. Get your employees involved on it. Call, brother. I have reps want to talk. If you would DM us there, that would be great. Pickle Fest, yikes. I was pickled out after that Pickle Fest, I'll tell you that much. You could only eat so much vinegar. But I again, everything was great there. That was a hell of a festival. And there were a couple beer companies there doing pickle beer too, by the way. Okay. Um, the any the beer industry, it is no secret that sobriety is a big deal. Sobriety is a big deal in the military community as well. We have veterans out there who should not be drinking alcohol, whether it's a trigger mechanism for on PTSD or an addiction, or they're on medication. And brewing technology has come so far, so far. And the NA beer space is growing with the non-alcoholic beer. That stuff used to taste like absolute crap. Um, and it's come a long way. There's still some crappy product out there, but we before we left Norfolk, we were testing our recipes, dealcoholizing some beer recipes that we had, and boy, I'll tell you what, we came up with a superior product. We took one or two of those products and put them up against nine of the leading brands out there. Your couple zero beers and some point 0.5% ABV beers that are considered non-alcoholic beers. And man, we beat them. We beat them. Took those two styles that we dealcoholized, took them to the Army Navy game, and everybody loved them. Took them to an American Legion national event in Washington, D.C. There were 500 people there. A lot of members of the Armed Services Committee were there, and everybody loved it there too. So that's exciting. We have a good product, and we're really getting into the development here. I have been on a mission here in the last month to find contract brewers that brew NA beer or that dealcoholize NA beer or dealcoholize beer down to NA ABV status, that 0.5% and below, down to zero. So we're looking into that. I've got the cans developed and everything. We've got 4 styles that we're looking at: 2 lagers, an IPA, and a stout that are NA. So that's coming up as well. Anyway, 'tis the season. We're in the holiday season now. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We got Christmas coming up as well, and this is the holiday season. And as I told our shareholders in my last 2 update emails, get on that phone, be a battle buddy, call up some veteran friends of yours, check in on them, or you never know what you're gonna uncover, or how that phone call is just gonna positively affect your veteran brother or sister that you talk to. So we need to do that. The holiday season's here. This is it gets depressing for some during this time, especially if they don't have any family. Anyway, all right, let me see comments here. I have no idea why Facebook just doesn't want to Let me see. It's saying I got 26 comments here. One, two, three, four, but I'm only seeing four. So I'm gonna see. Let me go on my phone here, see if anybody's got any questions that I can answer on here. Here we go. There we go. One. Okay, let me backtrack here. Statute of limitations. There's that one. I saw it come through there. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're not able to supply the cruise lines right now, and the statute of limitations. We're good on that for right now. We've got time to put all this together, and believe me, there's a lot of things in the background that are being put together right now. We're going to talk about that on some more shows, but if you're a shareholder, you got my shareholder update. We're trying to unmask one of the um, leaders of this group who goes to great lengths to keep his identity concealed because he knows what he's been up to is criminal and civil. He doesn't want us coming after him. He knows. Let's see. All right. I'm looking on here. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Man, I'll tell you what. It's coming back out. Preamble. We're just about done. Just about done. I'm going to have an update for everybody on the next Red Friday podcast when that, hopefully, when that beer is going to be packaged and ready and we can get that baby out to market. I will tell you this as well. This is actually something I left out here. Now, we used to ship beer to 32 states. We had a partner that had licensing to ship beer to 32 states. Well, we found a better platform. We're going to be able to ship to 45 and Washington, D.C. So, there's some other strategic things we're looking at right now. We're obviously back to a contract brewing model, but we're going to look at some, like I told you in the last 2 months, I have been on the phone constantly seeking out those contract brewers that could do regular beer and NA beer as well. So I've had a lot of conversations with different contract brewers all in all sorts of areas of the U.S. So brewing in Florida like we were, brewing in Maryland, Virginia like we were, and just having a great brewmaster like we have and recipes like we have. We just didn't have an issue with the quality of the beer if these brewers followed our recipes, and we just didn't have a lot of tweaks on it either. And that's good because that's the problem with contract brewing at different places. You worry about the quality of the beer, and we just didn't have that problem contract brewing in different places. So we're going to look into contract brewing West Coast, Midwest, Northeast, and seeing, opening up more states that way, and concentrating on micro markets instead of in these different regions, and kind of trickling out from there. So we'll work on that. All right, gang. I want to thank you for joining us, Red Friday podcast. Next week, EJ Snyder's here from Freedom Pickles, a skull crusher out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and reality TV star, winner. I think he's won Naked and Afraid. He's been on a whole bunch of different shows. So he's an exciting dude. He is an exciting dude. We'll talk to him about the survival TV show and all that kind of stuff, but we want to lift veteran-owned brands up as well. I think couple shows ago we had a veteran-owned whiskey company here And you know, that's we want to lift those veteran brands up, those veteran owned businesses up. Anyway, keep wearing your red on Friday, everybody. Keep enjoying beer. Um, and I'll tell you what, we'll get you more updates and see you next week on the Red Friday podcast. Watch for that apparel store. We'll put out some social media posts about that, but I think it's going to be up in the next 24 hours or less. All right, everybody, have a great Thanksgiving weekend with your family and friends. Thanks for joining us.